If you choose to hand quilt, you will need a quilting frame or a quilting hoop. If using a hoop, purchase a size that feels comfortable for you to hold. There are two ways to begin the quilting stitch, the knot method and the no knot method. The knot method works well if you are doing a lot of straight line quilting without many starting and stopping points. The no knot method works well on designs such as feathers or anything with several starting and stopping points. To begin the knot method, thread a needle with quilting thread approximately 24 inches long, knotting the end. Stick the needle down through the quilt top and into the batting layer, only about half an inch away from where you want to begin quilting. Gently pull on the thread and pop the knot down into the batting. Begin with a short back stitch. Using only the tip of the needle, make small, even, up-down stitches until you have about 4 stitches on the tip of your needle. Pull the thread through. Continue quilting until you have about 5 inches of thread left on the needle. Take a small back stitch and bring the needle through the loop which is formed. Pull the thread tight to create a knot. Stick the needle into the same hole as the knot, going down into the batting layer, and give it a little tug to pop the knot down. To use the no knot method, cut a length of quilting thread approximately 36 inches long. Stick the thread and needle up through the 3 layers of your quilt and pull up only half of the thread. Take a small back stitch and continue with the up-down quilting stitch. Return to your starting point and make a knot pulled through to the batting. Using the thread left hanging, take a small back stitch and continue quilting in the opposite direction, ending as I've explained. To machine quilt, attach an even feed walking foot to your sewing machine and adjust the stitch length to 8 to 10 inches per stitch. Lay your quilt on a flat surface. You will begin stitching near the center of your quilt, so roll the 2 opposite sides of the quilt toward the area to be stitched, leaving that area clearly open. Put the quilt under the presser foot and begin stitching, unrolling it as you go. It's best to stitch all areas in one direction, then turn the quilt and stitch perpendicular. Continue until the quilt has all been stitched. Remove the pins. If the quilting sounds overwhelming, you can take it to a professional and get the quilting done. The final step is attaching the binding. The binding is a fabric strip that attaches the quilt front to the back at the edges. You will need to remove the extra batting and back before attaching the binding and square up the corners. Cut your binding, then lay the right side of the binding to the right side of the quilt. Next you need to sew it. Then flip the binding over the edge to the back and hand stitch it in place. Now you know how to make a quilt. Here is a recap on what you learned. First you need to choose a size. You can have a king, queen, double, twin, a baby quilt, or a wall hanging. Next you need to choose a pattern and block size. After you've chose that, you need to choose a color and a fabric. Next you need to wash and dry it so it pre-shrinks, and then iron it to remove the wrinkles. You cut out your fabric. To do this you can use a template or you can use a pencil and ruler. You can cut out with a rotary cutter or you can just use the scissors. Next you need to sew your pieces together, then sew your blocks together, then sew your blocks into rows, and then sew your rows together. You need to baste or pin the back and the batting on, and then you need to decide if you're going to tie, hand, or machine quilt it. Next you need to tie it, hand quilt it, machine quilt it, or take it to a professional and get it done. Last, you need to put the binding on. The information for my presentation came from the book Quilts, Quilts, Quilts by Diana McCoon and Laura Nouns. Here's a quote from the book. A quilt is more than fabric, batting, and stitches. It is a rare and wonderful creation of the soul which expresses our personal statements, our likes and dislikes, feelings, thoughts, and loves. It is a bridge that encourages friendships. It supports our need for recognition as we display it proudly to the applause of its admirers, and links us with those who stitched before and those who will follow, as it gives a wordless but meaningful description of who we are and what we feel. A quilt is all these and more. It is the embodiment of love. This concludes our presentation. Are there any questions? Yeah? The question was, where did I get this idea? And I make quilts. I'm working on making a quilt, and so I really enjoy sewing and quilting, and so that's where I got my idea. Are there any other questions? Then this concludes our presentation.